You may think rotator cuff injuries come from lifting heavy or doing something extreme, but in reality, the majority of tears that I've seen as a licensed physical therapist don't happen in the gym. They happen from doing everyday things. I've seen it all. Rotator cuff injuries from scrubbing a bathtub, just turning a steering wheel, throwing a frisbee, and even just vacuuming around the house. And guess what? They all trace back to the same thing. Tasks that you might think are so simple require a high demand of that rotator cuff. And if you don't have the strength and the coordination, that's how it tears. I'd make sure you're not ignoring this small group of muscles, because that's the last thing you want to do is wait until you're already injured and it's too late. Look at your rotator cuff as your foundation. The term rotator cuff is really just a complex of 4 muscles that come together to control and stabilize the shoulder joint in literally everything that your arm does, especially internal and external rotation of the shoulder. And if you've been watching any of my videos, you understand that we are the weakest in rotation. And if you don't train it, you're leaving your shoulder vulnerable for injuries. Here are 5 movements to add into your warm-ups or your workouts to get that rotator cuff fired up. Our very first movement is going to be a wall clock. So we're going to get a light to medium resistance band, and we're going to place that around our wrists. From there, we're going to get onto the wall. We're going to have our hands out, arms nice and straight. And then what we're doing is we're going to go out in like a clock fashion. So we're going to come up and across, and we're going to go to the side and across, and then down across. The whole time when you're doing this, you'll alternate sides. When you're doing this, you want to make sure this opposite arm is nice and straight and you're not bending to get closer to that wall. So what we want to do is we want to reach with the shoulder, big reach, rather than trying to bring our body to that wall. So big reach, keep that serratus anterior active the whole time. To advance that movement, we can do it on the floor. So same concept applies. Around our wrists, we're in a push-up position. We're just going to reach out and across, to the side and across, back and across. This one's even more important, not to let that elbow bend or we're gonna fail that movement. So keep the arm straight and we're just reaching as we press with this opposite arm through that serratus anterior the whole time, and just reach, challenge that rotator cuff. For this next one, it's called an RRY. We're combining a couple movements in one, but it's really working our external rotators and those lower traps on our full rotator cuff. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get on incline bench and we're gonna be face down, flat. And then from there, what we're gonna do is we're gonna set our low traps back. We already want those engaged, nice and engaged. And then first, it's an RRY. So we're rowing, and then we're gonna rotate into external rotation, and then we're pressing up into a Y. Then we're gonna go nice and slow, about 6 to 8 second count on the way back down. Reset every single rep. Retract, then we row, rotate, press up into that Y while we keep those low traps nice and tight. You don't wanna come up with that row, external rotate, and just reach up with those upper traps. So keep those low traps tight the whole time as you reach up with that Y, and make it really slow, about 6 to 8 second count. Most people are pretty familiar with your traditional internal, external rotator cuff exercises, but I'm here to give you guys that next level up, that next step. So what we're gonna do here is we're combining a internal rotation with a reach. So we're gonna be in a nice athletic stance. We're gonna keep that elbow hugged the entire time, keeping our chest nice and tall. We don't want our shoulder to rotate forward. So we're just bringing our arm inwards. And then what we're doing is we're gonna reach and pivot and rotate and press with that serratus anterior. And then we're gonna bring it back, keeping that nice and controlled with the elbow as we retract and bring it back, okay? Pull it through, reach and pivot with that serratus anterior. If you guys want more serratus anterior exercises, I have an entire video that has movements like these within there to really strengthen that serratus anterior, because it goes along with that rotator cuff and the timing and the coordination. For this 90-90 kettlebell carry, also known as the shin blaster, you're gonna put a band around a kettlebell, or you can also use a dumbbell for this, and we're just gonna loop it around there. And then from that, all we're doing is we're gonna bring this kettlebell up. When we're in this position, what you wanna think about doing is you're getting a 90-90 position. So 90 degrees with our shoulder, 90 degrees with our elbow. From that, all we're doing is we're thinking about our elbow is staying forward, keeping that serratus anterior active the entire time while we have those low traps stabilized. Then all we're doing is we're gonna walk nice and controlled. The perturbation of this kettlebell as it moves around is a little unpredictable. Then we'll walk backwards. So it's challenging that rotator cuff's coordination, the timing, its strength, all of it in one. So this is more of the isometric version when you're doing this, but as you go along and you practice that form and you really get these down, you can now do where you go into a press with it. Press and stabilize it as that band gives that perturbation to that shoulder. Bring it back down, give yourself maybe a little Arnold as you come up and around and just grab that shoulder stability. You can even do them walking up overhead. So there's a lot of different ranges that you can do. You can even do it with your arm out like that. You can get pretty challenging with these and really challenge that rotator cuff. For our last movement here, this is a very advanced movement. So it's something that you want to work up towards, but I know there's some people out there that want these advanced movements, so I'm going to give them to you. So what we're doing is we're going to wrap a light resistance band. I like to use our red one around a pole or sturdy object. And then we're going to loop a 2.5 pound plate through that band. You're going to do it twice. So you loop it once, then we loop it twice because we want this to the middle of that band. Okay. From there, what we're doing is we're doing a little step out punch. So we're going to be in athletic stance. A same leg that you're working with this arm is going to be in front, because what we're going to do is we're going to do a press out. So we're going to punch as we hold that nice and controlled, as that perturbation with that band gives that rotator cuff a little bit of challenge. Bring it back. You're going to take a step out quick and fast while you control that. Make sure when you're doing this, you have that lower track retracted and your arm isn't just all the way out here. We want that job of that rotator cuff is to pull that shoulder in nice and tight and sturdy. So we want to practice that when we're doing these, is just stepping out and controlling that perturbation of that band. Give a good 3 to 5 second control stabilization before you go back and do another rep. Especially with this one, it's quality over quantity. So you're only doing about 6 to 8 reps each side, but they're nice and powerful, they're controlled, and it's really challenging your body. Thanks you guys so much for watching. Remember, you're only as strong as your weakest link. Throw these exercises into your warm-up or your workouts and challenge that rotator cuff strength, timing, and coordination. Hit that subscribe button. Make sure you're following, because we got tons of good videos coming soon. New videos every Tuesday. I will see you guys next time.